Hi everyone, this is Vinay from RCPIT Shirpur and I welcomes you to my YouTube channel on nature and sustainability. This is my third video in the lecture series under the guidelines of FDP program on environment and sustainability. In the first two videos, I have discussed with you on the flood specific type urban flood and its characteristics, nature and sustainability, and the human participation in sustainable development. The content was liked by a couple of people, and I thank you all for the appreciation and comments. The video was aimed to learn about what is urban flood, reasonings of urban flood and its consequences, impact of climate change on humans and nature, and sustainable approaches to reduce human stakes in environmental degradation. In this week's video, I'll be talking on the various IS standards for urban flooding, the impact of climate change on nature and humans, the carbon footprint calculations, and I'll be discussing with you the sustainability approach to the urban floods, a case study of Hyderabad city. The table discussed here talks about the various standards that works on water and its treatment. The ISO standards are marked on the risk targets and water efficiency management. Similarly, the BSI, that is the Business Standards Company, has developed some standards for the surface water flood risk management to help protect new developments and the redevelopment sites. Now, talking about the urban flood and climate change, there are few things that everybody should know. Everyone knows that every year the temperature is increasing a little bit. As the temperature increases, the water holding capacity of the air also increases. That is, a warmer atmosphere holds more moisture than the dry and cold air. The past studies on climate change suggest that there is evidence of heavier rainfall and it is likely to grow in the upcoming future. The climate change and flooding. These studies are quite tricky in nature, and studying the parameters responsible for this is complex. And scientists predict that heavy rainfall will increase in the upcoming future. Flooding isn't just about the rainfall, but other human factors also contribute towards the flooding. Now, what is carbon footprint? The carbon footprint is an estimation of climate change impact on certain activity such as making a product, living, lifestyle, or running a mechanism. Typically, carbon footprint is calculated by estimating emission of all greenhouse gases such as carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, etc. And in some cases, other types of climate impacts are also measured. For simplicity, all these impacts are added together and expressed as a single number, that is, in terms of equivalents of carbon dioxide. There are many existing and evolving standards for calculating carbon footprints, but in actual, all these practices do not give the truth value of carbon footprint because it's a very complex process. For example, even for a simple activity such as burning a liter of petrol, which releases a known amount of carbon dioxide, still there are certain uncertainties that can be encountered during the extracting and refining of the petrol before it was burned. So how to calculate the carbon footprint? Here I have given a simple method to calculate the carbon footprint. The method focuses on consumption of each and every of five major categories, that is housing, travel, food, product and services. For simplicity and clarity of the method, all calculation follows one basic method, that is the amount calculated per person per year. Here we multiply a use input factor by emission factor to calculate the carbon footprint for each of the category. The housing includes the electricity, natural gas, fuel oil, LPG, waste and water. And formula to calculate the carbon footprint is use per year multiplied by the amount of carbon dioxide equivalent, and that will be equal to the carbon 2 equivalent emissions per year. Similarly, the formulas for travel and product carbon emissivity are given here. Now, all of these I would like to relate with the urban flood case study of Hyderabad city. Hyderabad is a metropolitan city of the India and a capital of Telangana, joint capital of Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. Hyderabad is getting flooded every year with a small patch of rainfall, and the critical zones are identified by Greater Hyderabad Municipal Commission are Zone 12 and Zone 13 of the Hyderabad. This part is the Zone 12 and this part is Zone 13. Now, to calculate the impact of urbanization on land use, we have estimated the land use land cover for the Hyderabad city, Zone 12 and Zone 13 for the year 2001 from the year 2001 and 2016. The figure here shows the land use land cover for the 2001 and 2016. From the diagram, we can easily identify that the built-up area has been increased significantly from 2001 to 2003. The percentage of built-up area in 2001 was 46%, which has been raised up to 59% in 2016. Similarly, for Zone 13, we have calculated the built-up area, the increase in the built-up area, and it is seen that the built-up area has been increased from 62% to 75% from 2001 to 2016. This clearly indicates that the built-up area is increasing day by day, which will affect on the other land types, that is barren land, water body and stuffs. Simply it means the other land type is decreasing as compared as the built-up area is increasing. Now, to calculate the flood-prone areas, we have considered here the two models, one hydraulic model HIC-HMS and one hydrological model HIC-HMS and other hydraulic model HIC-RAS. The figure here shows the flowchart for the model simulation run. Here we have used spatial data and attribute data as input to the model. The data input is given to the ArcGIS and the user-friendly shape files are created that can be used directly into the HIC-HMS as an input file. The output of HIC-HMS are used as input to the HIC-RAS model. When the HIC-RAS model is developed to generate the flood risk and flood inundation maps for the Zone 12 and Zone 13 of the Hyderabad. The diagram shows the running methodology for the HIC-HMS model development and simulation. The input to the model consists of basin parameters, hydrological parameters, and simulation run parameters. The basin parameters are nothing but the infiltration parameter and drainage details. These are the infiltration parameters and drainage details. Drainage details are acquired from Greater Hyderabad Municipal Corporation. And the infiltration parameter based on the land use type and the resident soil in the Hyderabad. To run the model simulation, we have considered three critical rainfall events in the history of Hyderabad. That is the rainfall event of August 2008, August 2000 and July 1989. We originated these rainfalls in the HMS and HECRAS model to identify the flood prone and flood risk maps, flood prone zones and flood risk maps. The control specification to the model are nothing but the time duration of rainfall, the time of start of the rainfall, and the time period till the cessation of the rainfall. The model is simulated and the output we received is in the form of hydrographs at different outlet points, that is, hydrographs at the outlet junctions. These are the some typical examples of outlet hydrographs at junction points. Secondly, the output hydrographs at the reaches in different reaches. These are the output hydrographs in the reaches, and the output hydrographs at the outlet of the basins, subbasins. So these are the output hydrographs at the outlet of subbasins. Now all of these output hydrographs are used conjunctively in the HECRAS model simulation, and flood inundation and flood risk maps for the Hyderabad city are prepared as shown in this diagram. This map shows the flood risk map for the zone 12 of Hyderabad, and this is for zone 13 of the Hyderabad. The risk is divided into three parts: high risk, medium risk and low risk. As this is a total urbanized area, the water depth greater than 1 meter is considered into the high risk zone. 0.5 to 1 meter of water depth is defined as medium risk, and less than 0.5 is defined as low risk. So from the pie chart we can see that the area that come under the low risk for zone 12 is 67%, while that for the zone 13 is the 52%. That is almost more than half the area is under low risk. 1/3 area, that is 24% for zone 12 and 39% for the zone 13 comes under medium risk, and for both the zones 9% area is under high risk. The area in the red mark area here shows the high risk area. Now to have a clear view and better understanding of the risk zones, we have plotted these risk maps on Google Earth. From these maps, we can easily identify that the areas, that is Apurva Colony, DIHM, Jething Malka, Subhash Nagar, Indira Gandhi Colony, Dilkush Nagar, Rajiv Gandhi Nagar in the zone 12, and Dinkar Nagar, Rajiv Nagar, Sai Nagar, SBI Colony, Begumpet Airport area, Gandhi Nagar in the zone 13 are prone to the flood risk. Now, to validate and identify the truthness of model results, we have visited the flood site during the 2017 flood event, and we found that most of the area marked by flood model are inundated during the flood event of 2017. Here are some pictures of field visits. Now talking about the floods. Since a flood protection system guaranteeing absolute safety is an illusion, therefore an amendment in relief policy is to be achieved by spreading the awareness of risk and associated danger among the people. In today's changing climate, possibility of efficient system design will always be overruled by the altered precipitation pattern. Therefore, to achieve the sustainable development, these flood risk maps should be like this should be developed and taken as a reference for the further development process. These maps will help the localized people to identify the high risk zones, medium risk zones, and low risk zones, and accordingly they will help to settle them down. Similarly, these maps will help the government authorities and town planners to develop the city and take the measures as per the prevailing situation. So, in this way, we can develop a sustainable society in concern to the urban floods in the rising era. So these are few references which talks about the case study of Hyderabad. You can go through it for more details. So this is all about the urban floods. Any questions are welcome. Thank you.